Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another banger video. Hey, man, you already know how it is. Liking, commenting, and subscribing because we may never see each other ever again. And, if you want to see your boy make it to 1.5k subscribers by the end of the year, because as I'm currently filming this video, it is currently Thanksgiving. So, yes. Comment down below what y'all are thankful for, and A, hit that subscribe button while you at it. And maybe twist that notification bell so you never miss an upload, alright? I'm literally trying my best to post more stories. So, today's video is going to be on RIP iPhone 14 Pro. Because for many of y'all who haven't seen the previous story on the iPhone 14, y'all might know I ended up cooking the cameras. Alright? But this time, my phone has decided to pull the plug. Alright, let's just call it that way. My phone decided to pull the plug, and I'm going to go ahead and grab it for y'all. I got the phone right here. Still notice the cameras still have fog in it. I'm currently filming this video off of a Samsung Galaxy A03. So, the camera on this phone is really shitty. And, earlier today I made a video off of this iPhone 6 Plus, which is literally my second main phone. So, right now my main phones are a Galaxy A03 and an iPhone 6 Plus. I'm going to see how the camera looks off the 6. But one thing I do notice with iPhone's cameras is that even the older iPhones, they still have somewhat decent cameras. Sure, the 6 is one of those phones that doesn't have a really good camera, and this thing was never known for having good camera quality. I don't even think iPhones were known for having good cameras until the iPhone 7 Plus came out. Because that was the first iPhone to actually have more than one camera on it. So, here's the 14, and I'm going to turn it on for y'all. Sometimes my phone likes to be fucky. Yep. You notice how my screen is no longer working? My OLED is officially cooked. So, here's the story on that. So, I remember my phone still had some moisture in it. My phone still had moisture in the cameras and whatnot. So, it was fine for the first couple days. When I saw moisture in the cameras, that one day when I originally saw moisture in these, I was like, okay, what are we going to do about it? Because, I thought moisture usually just dries out, alright? So, if you haven't seen the previous story on this phone, I definitely recommend y'all to watch that, because I'm not going to go into full detail. See how, my OLED is mostly black, but at the top, it has, a little green mark on it. Yeah, and you see my phone ended up flashing green. My phone's been doing this for, the past few days. So, yeah. So, remember, I woke up, my phone was fine. I was just out here, being on Snap, minding my business. Until out of nowhere, on my way to my internship, I was on the highway, right? I was in the van, right? I wasn't driving, because, well, you can't. And I don't even drive during the week in the first place, but, I was just minding my business, right? I was just on Snap, right? Talking to my hoes, making my TikToks, being like, yo, fuck waking up, y'all. Waking up is the most brutal thing ever. And, my cameras, they have defogged. The night before the OLED issue, the cameras defogged, and, I was out here, I posted on my Snap story saying, yo, I can't believe my camera's defogged. And then I actually ended up texting my homie ChatGPT saying, yo, my homie Chat, my camera's defogged. Let's go. I'm happier than ever. I wish I could explain it better. You know what I mean? Bro is still out here making Billie Eilish references. For real. I still love Billie. I've loved Billie ever since middle school. I'm telling you, if you don't like Billie Eilish, we can't be friends. For real, for real. I even remember one time I posted a question saying, what's your favorite song by Billie Eilish? And like literally no one replied to that shit. But for real, that's not the point, bro. Point is that this phone is cooked. It's fried. So going back, you know, my OLED was flickering, so I was like, what? What happened? So I ended up texting ChatGPT as I usually do, saying, yo, my OLED flickered. Not you, this is not normal. So, he ended up saying, oh, it could be temperature because OLEDs do not like to be exposed to temperature. Yeah, buddy, it's a 14 Pro. So he said, just give it a couple hours, you know. Okay, so like 10 minutes goes by, phone was fine. It flickered a couple more times, but you know, it wasn't anything major. So then, I was able to power off the phone when I got to my internship because this thing did keep vibrating. I was like, oh my god, this phone be vibrating so fucking much, it's not even funny. Ow! Ow! I had like a pimple on my face. I think I got it. So then, I get to school, right? Phone is fine. And it was flickering really bad fourth period. Cause, you know, I was in fitness, you know. Because, you know, in my fitness class, you know, we actually do end up standing by some lockers, you know. Kids just go on their phones, be on Snap. I mean, I don't even think you'd be playing games when you're standing. Who plays games when they're standing? Like, I don't understand that, right? So this thing was flickering really bad, so I was like, okay, my 14 Pro is flickering really bad. So I ended up texting one of my homies, you know. I said, yo, my 14 Pro's OLED is tweaking out really bad. And he said, oh, what happened? What happened? I ended up saying, the phone ended up getting exposed to moisture. And my Galaxy A03 is lagging really, really bad right now. So I hope this video turns out alright. So, I ended up telling him the reason. He said, oh, it's the 14 Pro fucked. I said, I don't know, I hope not. So then, you know, fast forward to lunch. Phone was fine. I was playing some PvZ2. I was playing Neon Mixtape Tour. Okay, Neon Mixtape Tour is the best world in Plants vs. Zombies 2. Like, I'm sorry, but if you do not like Neon Mixtape Tour, can't be friends. Like, I'm sorry. Who says Neon Mixtape Tour is trash? Like, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say it. Neon Mixtape is probably one of the most best worlds out there, so I'm gonna give this one a couple more days. Hopefully the cameras, hopefully they do defog, get unfogged. Because I remember, like, earlier, like, the cameras, like, I ended up putting it in front of the heater, and, you know, the cameras, they defogged, and they refogged up. So you can definitely see there is moisture trapped in the lenses. All three, actually. And it's not just that. Even the front has moisture trapped in it. Which it's starting to escape, but I'm going to give this phone a couple more days. And again, I hope that, you know, all I have to do is just get a new screen for this. Because I'm telling y'all, I am not going aftermarket. Okay? I've already had previous aftermarket screens in the past, and they suck ass. Alright? I had a 15 Pro, right? the phone was like perfectly fine with the original screen until I broke it. So like, I remember when I broke the 15 Pro, it wasn't even that cracked. Why did I sound weird? Like, the phone wasn't even that cracked. It was just a little crack at the front, and like, that's what literally killed the whole phone. So then I ended up getting an aftermarket screen for it, and let me tell you, it sucked. The aftermarket screen sucked. I'm telling you, like, the phone was getting really hot. It was getting random temperature warnings. There were times where like I couldn't even charge the phone because of how hot it was. So, sometimes I would put the phone through water, and since the phone had no cracks, I didn't really mind it. Plus, it was an LCD, so like I ran it through water that would cool the phone off, right? But I remember I actually ended up killing the LCD because I ended up crashing out. I was like, you stupid, I'm not gonna say the word, but like, you stupid phone. So I ended up like throwing the phone to the ground, and I ended up like breaking the screen. Let me tell you, that screen is fucking durable as hell. Like, I still have the original, I still have the phone. Somewhere around my house. It's somewhere. I don't know where, but it's somewhere. So, I remember, I said, that's it, I'm not going aftermarket. I said, Mom, go get your money back. And, the phone was working fine, so, like, then I ended up finding another use for the phone. I was just like, oh, cool, I can use it as a hotspot. So now I can use my 14 Pro when I'm driving, not when the car is in motion. You stupid. No, like, at red lights, I can just, like, use my phone. I go on Snapchat for a little bit and whatnot. Light goes green, put the phone down, floor it. You know what I mean? So yeah. So now going back to the 14 Pro, the OLED, it was tweaking, so it's like during lunch, my phone decided to go like that. My phone was green, and I was just like, no, this can't be. This fucking can't be, bro. This fucking can't be. So, like, I was using my iPhone 6 because thankfully I had this on me. So, all I have to do, I have to get it connected to my school Wi-Fi. And I'll be good to use this on the network. I'll use it. I'll sneak it in. I can't really do much on this thing, alright? This thing is so old, I can't even get YouTube on it. That's how bad it is. So, yeah. I'm really sad that the 14 Pro is done for. 1. This is a 256 gigabyte model. This is not just a 128 and forget. I remember I told ChatGPT, buddy, this is a 256 and freak the fuck out. So thankfully, I have access to my iCloud and my Apple ID. So like, thankfully, I was actually smart this time, and I wasn't stupid like I was at homecoming to, forget the Apple ID. Because at homecoming, that's how I lost the iPhone 12. I lost it because I was stupid because I forgot the Apple ID to the phone. I'll go ahead and put this cover on the brownie real quick. There we go. So yeah, I ended up losing the phone, and that's how I lost it because I don't even think. Yeah, I think there was a passcode on it too, but I don't know how someone bypassed it. If y'all haven't seen the story on how I got my phone stolen, definitely watch it. It's definitely one of my banger videos. So, but going back, like, this phone is 256, and, I've actually mained this phone for a long time. I hate to say it, but this is the longest Target bin phone I have ever had that I have made. Like, let me tell you, Target bin is severely underrated, bro. I remember I actually made a video on this not too long ago. It was like 5 months ago. Yeah, 5 months ago I made a video on this saying, I found an iPhone 14 Pro. I was just like, holy shit. Like, when I saw this thing in the bin, though, I was just like, okay, that's it. I saw it the day after. I ended up going on the other side of the bin, and when no one was looking, I immediately grabbed that 14 Pro like there was no tomorrow, and I said, okay, I'm taking it home. I ended up texting my mom. I don't even think I had a phone. I said, Mom, get to the car now. We got a 14 Pro. So I think at the time I was really struggling. Like, I remember it was to the point where I literally had to main a UMX, Ultimate Mobile Experience, from... When did the UMX come out? You know what? I'm going to actually look that up. I'm going to actually look up when did the UMX phone came out, and I'm actually using my shit book. I don't know. It was a UMX U683 UMX. And let me tell you, the phone was so bad. What? 2020? How did that come out in 2020? What? I did not know that, actually. Okay, so the UMX ended up coming out in 2020. Well, I didn't know that. But I'm telling you, the phone was, like, really, really shitty. Like, what do you expect? The phone was literally a fucking government-funded phone. I don't know. But I remember I was literally in the trenches where I was literally maining that thing. The camera on it, so bad. It could not even run Snap. The battery was shit. That thing was somehow surprisingly able to run, like, YouTube on it. You know what I mean? And I remember I actually used to use a Galaxy S7, which was a good phone, by the way. S7, it's a good phone in 2025. It's fast. It's got good camera. The camera is actually really decent on those phones. Like, I even used the Galaxy S8 in 2025, and let me tell you, bro, those are good phones. S8s, they are good. I actually mained one at one point. Until now, where I'm literally maining this, and I'm literally maining the 6 Plus as well. The 6 Plus, it's slow, yes, but I can use Snapchat on it somehow. But yeah. But going back to the 14 Pro, like, you know, this phone has seen everything. I made Plants vs. Zombies videos on it. You know, I've snuck this phone in a lot. There were times where this phone's gotten left at school because of my fucking dickhead 12th grade principal. He ended up, like, saying, oh, since you snuck it in, I'm not giving it back. Like, fuck you then. You know, I remember one time, you know, I had my 14 Pro on me, and I was going to the office to get my 15 Pro. So then they said, okay, 12th grade principal wants to talk to you. I said, what does he want? What does he want? And he said, I know you have another phone. And he was like, how the fuck do you know? I ain't got another phone on me. Can I get my 15 Pro? He said, no. Fuck you then. And I think I still have the video on that phone. But sadly, I do not pay for iCloud storage. So, like, I don't have access to all my photos. which is really unfortunate. You know, who pays for iCloud storage? I don't know. But going on, yeah, it's just unfortunate, honestly. So, what I learned from this is that never run your phone through water. You know, you can put your phone in water and it'll survive as long as you don't submerge it. Because I didn't even submerge it. What I did was I ran it over the sink for a couple seconds. Everybody does this. Well, I'm not saying everybody, but you know what I mean. I don't have to explain it. Like, everybody somehow saying, "Oh shit, my phone got wet." Everybody, they use their phones in the rain. Like, they take walks in the rain and they hold their phones like this, AirPods in and everything. But no, my phone decided to say, yeah, I didn't like it. Because, I was charging this phone and I was playing some Driving Simulator Evo, which, yeah, all my cars I have in Driving Simulator Evo, I don't have anymore because this phone got cooked. So I pretty much lost my virtual garage. So I either get an OLED for this, or I hope I get lucky on eBay, but hopefully I get lucky in the Target bin and I find a better iPhone. I would preferably make an iPhone, if I can find another iPhone 13, because I regret selling the 13 I had. I actually had an iPhone 13, but I sold it for a shitty Apple Watch that I don't even use. Let me tell you, bro, Apple Watches, they ain't fucking useful. They only good for a couple things. One, you can change the music from your phone with your Apple Watch. So, since I had Apple Music at the time, I was just out here, I was able to literally, use my Apple Watch, and I said, let's play Love, Lana Del Rey. So, never mind. So, and I'm playing music from it, and you can control your phone with your Apple Watch. And that's the useful thing with it. Another useful thing is, well, you can check your heart rate and whatnot. But to be honest, what I say it's actually worth giving up a working phone for, no. It's really not worth it. The phone has more value than the watch did. And I ended up selling that shit for $112. Bro, I had to wait at Walmart a whole hour to sell it. I had to reset my Apple ID. But let me tell you, that iPhone 13 would come in clutch right now, bro. 13's still a good phone. That phone, sure, ended up getting hot, but that phone had no cracks and, nothing wrong with it. And this 14 Pro, this thing had, no cracks in it. Sure, it has some scratches, but a scratch is different from a crack. Even the cameras had no crack in it, so I don't understand how moisture ended up getting trapped in the phone. I don't get it. But the thing is that this video is getting kind of long, and RIP 14 Pro. You were everything. You weren't just a phone. You were literally my everything. This phone, been with me since... When did I make the video on the 14 Pro? Fuck. Alright. When did I make a video on my iPhone 14 Pro? Let me open up another YouTube tab. Alright. View channel.
Happy birthday.
Fuck you. Forgot, I actually updated my channel. So, you know, when you go to the homepage of my channel, you see a birthday test 4 instead of birthday test 3. Yeah. Three months ago. 4 months ago. 5 months ago. Where's the 14 Pro video? Dude, I can't even get it on this phone. But yeah, I think I've actually had this phone for 5 months? Wait. Yeah, I've had the phone for about 5 to 6 months. I think I've had it. Yeah, I've had the phone for about like 5 to 6 months, which I hate to say it, but oh, yeah, 5 months. I've had the 14 Pro for 5 months. That's how long I have actually mained the phone for. Which is crazy, man. I can't believe how long I've had that phone for. It hurts to see it go. Like, first of all, this phone has more storage than my 15. Meaning I was able to store more on this. So, now if I get a new phone, it has to be 256. Or else I can't store everything. Well, it's not like I'm going to be able to get it back anyways, because the phone is cooked. All I can say is, R.I.P. La da 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 dee da dee dee. La da da da. R.I.P. R.I.P. I don't remember when that song was on fucking SoundCloud. It was like a Melanie Martinez AI song. Now it's just gone. Fuck. All I can say is, R.I.P. You were everything. And now, you are going into the drawer of shame. I'm going to now put this iPhone 14 into the drawer of shame. Sucks that this camera sucks. Here it is. The phone is now in my drawer of shame. So I'm hoping I can get a new phone after the first of the year. Because my mom, she is getting her stuff. So I can actually get a new phone. If I end up getting a new phone, I'm getting a 13 Pro. I'll probably get a 13 Pro. Maybe a regular 13. I might even get a 13 mini. Yes, I'll live that mini lifestyle until I graduate. I actually kind of want to see what it's like to use a mini phone because I hate to say it, but I really do not like the size of this phone I'm currently using, nor do I like the size of this. This thing is big, it's chunky. Honestly, the 14 Pro is perfect, so now I kind of want to see what it's like to actually use a mini iPhone. But hey, the video's 30 minutes. I gotta cut it, bro. There was just so much random shit in this video. But yeah. Thank you all for watching this video, liking, commenting, and subscribing. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out until then.